Alright guys, Dokkan have dropped the EZA details for both Orange Piccolo and Beastless Gohan. So we're going to dive straight into these. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I cannot wait to see what these two EZAs do. So for Piccolo, after you activate the entrance animation when there is another Bond of Master Disciple category ally on the team upon the character's entry, which of course Bond of Master Disciples have had a big buff over the last couple months, so not too difficult to trigger that. Piccolo will gain 30% damage reduction for 1 turn, 200% attack and defense, and guard all attacks. So basically, Piccolo's first appearance, he's going to have a nice little juicy boost. And then starting the turn with 200% attack and defense, and then we'll receive an additional key +1 per key sphere obtained, and a chance to crit and damage reduction rate of 40%. So on that first turn, Piccolo's going to have 70% damage reduction, an extra 200% attack and defense, which is looking indefinitely, along with that guard as well. Then for every attack received, key +2 up to 8, and then attack and defense +50% up to 200%. That's literally like four hits. That will take no time at all. Then as the first attacker on the turn, 100% defense before attacking. Then after receiving an attack as the first attacker on the turn, 100% attack, and a chance to crit by 40%, and all allies key +2 within the turn. Always loved the fact that Piccolo gave key after being hit. Just because in some scenarios where orb placement was kind of like not too generous, or maybe you just kind of struggled to give someone key, maybe the enemy gave like minus key, Piccolo just giving that extra 2 always seemed to just be really handy in a lot of cases. So big fan that we've got that added to as well. Then after receiving an attack as the second or third attacker in a turn, Piccolo will give all allies key +2 attack and defense, and a chance to crit by 20% for 2 turns. So wherever you put him, Piccolo is going to be helping a lot of your units out regardless, especially in slot 2 or slot 3. Then when HP is 30% or less at the start of the character's attacking turn, after the character receives 4 or more attacks in battle, he will fully recover HP and a chance to perform a crit and damage reduction rate by 15%, which then takes him up to, after this anyway, then takes him up to a total of 55% damage reduction and guard. Now what I will say is Piccolo's getting a lot of stats, especially when you put him in slot 1, especially when he's set up after being hit, which is good. So it does mean his damage is going to be up there. He's going to have a decent amount of defense. What I will say is, especially because this is only around for 1 turn, Piccolo's going to have guard and 40% damage reduction for the majority, which I'm not going to lie, going into 2026 with how hard enemies are hitting, especially Bio Broly, doesn't seem enough. I mean, maybe the amount of defense he's getting is really going to help balance that out, which, I mean, for the most part, probably will, especially when it comes to normals. And then, of course, you get the extra 15%. But again, that's only going to take him up to, what, 55% damage reduction. So for the most part, in slot 1, Orange Piccolo should be good. But we're about to go into the 11th anniversary in like not even a month's time. So I kind of feel like Piccolo's going to age very quickly. Unless, as I said, at first glance, with all the extra stats that Piccolo's getting, maybe that's doing a lot for him. But I don't think it's doing enough. I don't know. He looks very good. I just feel like he's going to age very quickly with how little damage reduction he has in comparison to like other units in the game. But on 12 keys, greatly raising attack and defense by 50% for 1 turn with a 50% chance to stun. And then on 18 key, greatly raising defense by 50% for 4 turns and greatly raising attack by 50% for 1 turn, and also greatly lowering enemies' attack and defense. I mean, hey, maybe after the 4 turns are done, maybe Piccolo will have enough defense to where that damage reduction not being as high as I would like it is not a problem at all. But overall, he does look good. He does look very solid. I just feel like he's going to age out again, especially with the 11th anniversary literally coming in less than a month's time, fairly quickly, compared to pre-EZA where he was relevant for ages in the game. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments on that one. Then, of course, we have his giant form transformation, which, of course, is always going to have an extra benefit, which isn't stated here, which is when you pop it, it does reset the super attack placement of an enemy and just completely null and voids it, and of course resets the locking in place by enemies as well, which can be good and a bad thing. But he does have 100% attack and then receives an additional key +3 per keys for obtained. Will launch an additional attack that's a 50% chance to become a super attack, which is solid. I mean, giant forms are always a good way to just get free damage off, essentially. And then he massively raises attack temporarily, cause cross damage to the enemy, and all attacks become crit temporarily as well, which the guaranteed crit on super attack is very, very nice. Then on the 18 key version, will massively raise attack temporarily, and all attacks become crits temporarily. And that is also a very nice thing to have. Just having crits on the giant form, I think, is a really just handy thing to have to do some pretty noteworthy damage. But then we have Beastless Gohan, or maybe potentially after this, definitely is going to awaken the beast inside him. Come on, Dokkan, do him nice. One thing this Gohan never struggled with was damage. So I'm hoping for good things. So activate the entrance animation when there is another bond of parent and child category ally on the team upon the character's entry. P +24 for 1 turn. And then 200% attack and defense with guaranteed guard. So Gohan is not going to be struggling for key on that first appearance no matter what. And then of course keeps this as well, just like Orange Piccolo does. And then has 200% attack and defense, receives an additional key +1 per keys for obtained, and 40% damage reduction. So far, aside from the key +24 for 1 turn, he's identical to Orange Piccolo, which for him is a pretty good thing considering how weak he was defensively when he first dropped. Then for every super attack performed, key +3 up to 9, and then 100% attack and defense up to 200%. So he even builds up quicker than Piccolo does. I mean, bearing in mind, his is for attacking himself, which is literally what? 3 super attacks gets you the key, 2 super attacks get you the full attack and defense, which I mean, if you hit an additional, which he literally has a guaranteed additional super right underneath, which, funny enough, this all lines up perfectly because on his first appearance gets 24 key. You attack with 20 or more key, gets you the guaranteed additional super. You can literally get this done on his first appearance, guaranteed, because of this, and then this down here. Then also when attacking with 20 or more key, you do have attacks effective against all types as well. And then when activating the active skill, when attacking with 24 key, Gohan gains an extra 100% attack and also guaranteed crit as well. I said one thing Gohan always did was deal damage. So then when activating the active skill, you do get 300% attack temporarily. Then receiving a super attack for 4 turns from the character's entry turn, damage reduction rate 15% temporarily, and if it is a Ki Blast super attack, nullify it starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn. 70% chance of damage reduction rate of 15% temporarily, and if it's a Ki Blast super attack, 70% chance to nullify it. So kind of similar to what the EZA Gamma's got. So when you receive a super attack, within those 4 turns from Gohan's entry, you get 15% damage reduction, taking him up to 55%. And then if he gets hit by a Ki Blast super attack, Gohan will nullify it, which is also very handy. So basically a total of 55% damage reduction, guard, and nullification. Then starting from turn 5, from the character's entry turn, 70% chance of the 15% damage reduction, so it's no longer guaranteed and temporarily. And if it is a Ki Blast super attack, 70% chance to nullify it. It's basically kind of a flipped version with extra damage reduction for Gohan. And dare I say, overall, Gohan does a bit more defensively. Aside from out and out raw defense, which Piccolo definitely gets an extra bit of, which probably in the long run is a bit more handy. But nullification, with the extra damage reduction which Piccolo also gets, and the same amount of damage reduction and guaranteed guard. See, the amount they've given Gohan is a lot more handy than what they've given Orange Piccolo, just because, again, back when these units both initially released, Gohan was more of the damage dealer, not as good as defensively, and died out pretty quickly, whereas Orange Piccolo was way better defensively, solid damage, and got to age and took a while to kind of fall out of being usable in the game. Whereas now they've given them essentially both the same thing, but Piccolo's got more stats defensively, whereas Gohan's got more attack by stats compared to Piccolo. So I think overall you're probably going to get more usage out of this Fizz Ultimate Gohan in the long run. 12 key, greatly raised attack and defense by 50% and 50% chance to stun, and on an 18 key, greatly raised attack by 50% for 4 turns, and then greatly raised defense by 50% for 1 turn, greatly lower attack and defense. yeah, I mean, overall, both these EZAs are very solid. They're both going to be very good. I just think Piccolo isn't going to age that well. Again, especially with the 11th anniversary coming so soon. Even right now, with like Bio Broly doing the kind of damage he does in the game. Ultimate Gohan, as I said, you do have a little bit more defensively with that 15% damage reduction with the nullification, even when you have a chance to do it as well. But overall, I mean, they both look pretty good. What I will say, but then this is going to be my fault, and maybe some of you may agree, is I wanted these EZAs to be ridiculously good. And for the fact that they're not broken is my own fault, having like really high expectations. But overall, they both do look very good. I'm just a little bit concerned how Piccolo's aging is gonna affect him and how much longevity he's actually gonna have in the game. Again, especially with the anniversary being so close. But that's my thoughts. You can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think of these EZAs? Do you think they're good, bad, meh? Let me know. This is gonna be the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.